He was the man everyone relied on, the good guy, the helper, the one who understood. He said yes to everything. He smiled even when he was dying inside, until one day he snapped. He didn't yell, he didn't break anything, he just went quiet. And in that silence, his entire world began to crumble. This is the story of Daniel, a man who spent his life pleasing others until he finally realized that he had betrayed the only person he truly mattered. Daniel was the kind of man everyone liked. He was kind, he was thoughtful, he was reliable. If someone needed help, Daniel was always there. He never complained, never said no, never wanted to be burdened. But behind that polite smile was an exhaustion. Not physical, but emotional. Because every time he said yes to someone else, he was saying no to himself. But he never listened to himself. He always listened to others. He didn't realize it, but his mind has been programmed to believe that love must be earned through sacrifice. In NLP, we call this a core emotional association, a subconscious link between emotions and behavior. For Daniel, love felt like pleasing, peace felt like compliance. But it doesn't have to be that way. You see, people pleasers look calm on the outside, but inside they live in a storm. They are terrified of disappointing anyone. They fear conflict, they fear rejection or being misunderstood. So they keep giving time, attention, energy, hoping that someday someone will notice their pain. Too bad, nobody does. Because people get used to taking from the man who never says no. People take advantage of them. And that's the silent suffering of countless men today. Men raised to be dependable, to be kind, to be agreeable, but never taught the power of boundaries, never taught to be themselves, never taught to be masculine. And hence we are seeing men becoming feminine these days. A man without boundaries isn't kind, he's exhausted. And this the ladies understand the best. No wonder women do not choose nice, good men. It is not because they are nice or good, it is just that they don't have boundaries. They can't make tough decisions. Daniel smiled through his pain, laughed through his loneliness, and apologized every time he had a need. He didn't know it, but he was trapped in what we call fawn mode, a survival pattern where you appease others to feel safe. It's not weakness, it's programming. This happened on an ordinary Thursday. Daniel had just finished another 12-hour day shift fixing everyone else's problem. His boss dumped last minute work on him. His girlfriend said that he wasn't emotionally present. His parents wanted help with something trivial. He smiled through it all. And then he got home and kept sitting in his car and stared into nothingness. He wasn't angry. He wasn't sad. Just that he was completely empty from inside. He didn't know what to feel. He didn't know what to think. He whispered, I have given everyone everything. Why do I still feel invisible? And that's when the truth hit him. He wasn't kind. He was just terrified. He was addicted to approval. Approval had become his drug, and people were his suppliers. Every compliment was a hit, every disapproval was a withdrawal, and he was done living like that. He hated that continuous roller coaster life. His realization soon came, and he began to trace it back. When did it start? When did he learn that love means losing yourself? He remembered being 8 years old, his mother crying, his father distant. He was the peacemaker, the little adult. He learned that if he made everyone happy, the chaos would stop. People won't fight. And that's what he learned. That if he could just not fight, if he could just please people, if he could just make people happy all the time, that would be a great place to be. And it is true that if somebody can do that, that is a great place to be, but not at the cost of yourself, which he forgot as a child. And that carried on into his adulthood. His nervous system made a deal. If I please others, I will stay safe. And that's what the mind understood. That became his root program, a belief that shaped every decision, tone, every relationship in his life. And in NLP, this is where transformation begins. When you finally uncover the hidden pattern that has been steering your entire life. Daniel realized that he wasn't broken. If he can be conditioned as a child, he can also be conditioned, or should I say, reconditioned as an adult. So he started unlearning and relearning new things. And he started by not blaming his past, but by accepting whatever has happened. As a child, whatever he did, he understood that the child took a decision that felt right at that point in time. But that decision doesn't have to be true in his adult life. He used NLP techniques to anchor new emotional states. Each morning, he stood before the mirror, looked himself in the eye, and said, I am not here to please. I am here to live my life. I am a man, I'm a masculine man, and I am going to take back what is due to me. And over time, the confidence helped him to believe in who he really was. He began reframing his thoughts, turning "I can't say no" into "I choose what I give." He started setting small boundaries, not with anger, but with clarity and purpose. That doesn't work for me right now, he could say right now. Maybe we can reschedule the meeting into a more win-win situation. At first, people were shocked. Some pulled away, but the ones who truly respected him stayed. Because when you stop performing for love, you start attracting people who respects your truth. He started learning something most men never do. You don't lose people when you set boundaries. You lose the ones who are using you. He learned something most people never do, and that is this, that you don't lose people when you set boundaries. You lose the ones who are actually using you, and that's a good thing for you. And that's a good thing for anyone. Daniel didn't turn cold, he became real. He realized kindness without self respect isn't love, it's self betrayal. He understood the saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you sane. He stopped apologizing for existing. He stopped explaining his choices. And for the first time, he felt peace that didn't come from people, it came from within himself. As he began living with integrity, the world began to respond differently. He was respected, trusted, and seen, not because he gave more, but because he finally stopped giving himself away, because he finally started respecting his boundaries, his life. If you have spent your life, friends, if you have reached till here and if you have spent your life trying to please everyone, if you're tired of walking on eggshells, if you have been the nice guy who keeps everyone happy but feels unseen, then it's time to stop. You don't need to become colder, you need to become clearer. You need to have a greater purpose. You need to reprogram the pattern that says love means sacrifice. You need to rebuild your identity from inside out to stop chasing approvals and start living with purpose. That's what I teach men to do through NLP and emotional mastery. I help men to rewire the subconscious mind and reclaim their confidence and build their masculine identity so they stop being the man everyone uses and become the man everyone respects. If this story spoke to you, if it resonates with you, don't just listen, act, subscribe, join this mission, start the work that frees you, that liberates you. Be the man you were always born to be, because the world doesn't need another man who pleases everyone. It needs the one who pleases himself first. It needs the one who can stand and defend and be himself. So if you have reached till, do like, share and subscribe. And if you have liked the video, do let me know in comments that while you are listening to this, did anything come up in your mind, any kind of events that had happened in your mind, and how that might have impacted your life, just like in case of Daniel's. Do let me know in the comments. That's it from me. This is Samrat, confidence and relationship strategist, signing out. Good night, adios, sayonara.